Hello again, YouTube. Truth Man here. The channel is the No Matrix, No Simping All Subjects channel. We got some videos coming today. YouTube, listen. Hey, I don't know what happened between me and you, but here we go again with these videos. Come on now. So today on this video, I want to talk about anxiety. Want to talk about anxiety, and I'm gonna put the relationship aspect in it, but that ain't gonna be all. Let me fix my collar first. There we go. I mean, that's good enough. You know, my listeners, they know I be coming on here just trying to get the content out. That's why I always look in the mirror. But so listen, that's good enough, man. Hey, man. The person that's always sharp as a tack is probably trying to deceive you. I mean, yeah, it's cool. It's cool. You know, look good and stuff like that. But that's not what's important here. What's important here is to talk about anxiety. So, me personally, on a personal level in my life, everything came easy until, if I'm honest about it, life was easy until I came to faith, got married, and all that stuff. Then things kept happening that was creating anxiety. And I learned how to deal with it, and I'm gonna show you the things I learned about anxiety. Now, the Bible says about anxiety, be anxious for nothing. So, a lot of people have anxiety over their stuff in their relationships. Me personally, look, man, if you have anxiety over women, then you don't know women. Let me say that again. Any guy that's having anxiety over women, you're a novice, man. You need to watch more red pill content. You're a simp. And I'm also noticing, will y'all please, notice I said y'all, please. I don't know if y'all agents or y'all just, see, some of these younger dudes, this is why I say some dudes might be too young. Some of these younger dudes, they crave a woman's attention so much that they on YouTube trying to take up for them. Man, have you heard the stuff they say? Have you heard these stories, the things they do? How could you take up for them or take their side? If you don't agree with what we talk about, you should just stay out of the way and just observe. But it's a couple guys in this space. I don't know if they doing it for views. But it's a couple guys in the space that just think it's their job to advocate for these 304s. The ones that ain't like that, we ain't talking about them. If they truly not like that, then this don't apply to them. And if you're a woman that's a unicorn, you're a good woman, this stuff we say that ain't you, then you shouldn't have don't try to take up for the people that it's a learning experience. And I'm spitting. And he just ran the red light. Just stay out of it. You stay out of it too. If this ain't you, and matter of fact, if you guys have a good woman, you got a unicorn, it's okay for you to keep watching, but don't change on her. She not doing this stuff to you. See, some of y'all dudes, y'all mess up a relationship, and now your new girl, this stuff applied to you. But if it don't apply, you supposed to let it fly, man. Like there are some women in the world, scattered abroad, that this don't apply to them. You don't try to make this apply to your girl. If your girl ain't like that, she ain't like that. See, it's a lot of people that they ain't even in this fight. They try to put themselves in it. Trying to take up for these women. Don't do that. Your woman ain't like that. Don't do that. But the point I'm making, back to the point, if you have anxiety over a woman, you don't know women. You a simp. What do I mean by this? Because I've had it. It means that you're making her an idol. What did the Bible say about idolaters? You shall have your part in the lake of fire. The Most High didn't create women for us to worship them. They not supposed to worship us either. They serve God through them serving us. If they treating their husband like dirt, then they might as well not even pray, because their prayers ain't gonna get through like that. Because again, you think I'm lying? Go back to Genesis, read about Adam and Eve. So, anxiety, we're gonna look up the definition when we stop. See? That was a woman. What she did was, you know how the light is green, and on the other side, you just wait. Like you wait until the coast is clear. She just went. I can imagine how she does her boyfriend or husband, if she even has any. Because we're going to talk about Isaiah 4:1 too. I got content by request. Then I got the person at home is trying to debate me on Isaiah 4:1. But of course, a debate is not you talking and the other person not talking. That ain't no debate. That's disrespectful dialogue. That's what that is. But you don't have anxiety or no woman. When I was a simp back in the day, she used to, I'ma leave. You keep on, I'ma leave. And it would create anxiety. And me not knowing how to deal with women at that point, you think you do. See, what I was doing as a 20-some-year-old, that worked. But then I got into church and I started getting confused, because I thought that every woman in the church was going to be good, going to be right, going to always cooperate. Because like most of the time, the pastor's wife was the most cooperative one in almost every church we was at. So it kind of brought confusion. And then you had all the people that be acting fake at church. So I'm thinking, when they start talking about leaving you and stuff, me not understanding as a young man, I'm like, well, what can I do to make her not want to leave? But over time, I start gaining wisdom. And I start looking at it different. When you gain wisdom, you start looking at things different. I start thinking about all the things that was creating anxiety. And fast forward to today, we'll go back to yesterday, but fast forward to today, I'm looking at it like, I need to get back to what I did to make the most money. Because a lot of times, anxiety is self-inflicted. It's either you not doing what you're supposed to do, or you not doing what you should do, or a combination of both. That's what usually creates the anxiety. Anxiety over your bills, anxiety in your relationship. The relationship is often different, but you know, me wasn't cheating. First person I never cheated on, it didn't matter. Didn't make a difference. You give up all your women, and now you trying to please a woman that in a lot of cases, that's the one that didn't even want you to begin with. That's how we get weird as men. We be dumping the women who actually wanted us. And then we get with one who we had to chase. Which y'all know, my wisdom now, I be sharing it with y'all. If a woman rejects you or puts you in the friend zone, don't try to talk to her no more. And I would advise you, talk to women in front of her. Just to show yourself and to show her that she ain't running nothing. And if she asks you, be like, hey, you said that you wanted to be friends. So you really shouldn't be worried about what I do. We just gonna leave it at that. You wanted to be friends. We not gonna be together. So, anxiety. Man, I wonder, I can really look it up. It's a real, the light turned green. We getting close. I'm gonna stop in a second. Let's talk about anxiety over your bills. That's what y'all don't understand about marriage and having kids. Is that it's gonna create anxiety no matter what. Your kid's gonna get injured. You ain't gonna know how bad it is. Like one of my oldest broke his arm. He had a little gash in his head, some glass. It was just anxiety, man. And then when people get to not treating your kids right, that's anxiety. When your kids be sad, that's anxiety. Like I said, when you don't understand women, that's anxiety. But the Bible tells you to be anxious for nothing. And when you figure it out, it's like most of your anxiety is usually you caring what people think or giving people too much leeway. Whether you work in a jail, whether you're a police officer, no matter what it is, it's usually 9 times out of 10, it's you giving other people too much leeway. What happens to other people, what other people say, what other people do, what other people would do. Man, if you get behind in your bills, all you could do is try to get caught up. If you lose stuff, like a lot of people losing stuff right now, man, it's rough. It's rough. But you got to know your role in whatever's causing the anxiety. And you got to know what other people's role is. You, like for instance, I always tried to just be the sole breadwinner, this, that, and the other, right? For you to do that, you got to keep going up in income. You have to keep increasing income. But that has become 10 times as difficult in the last 23 years. I would say 20 some odd years. When I had my mortgage in 2001 was $507. My rent in 2023 is $1,460.71. Now, have I increased my income to the point of it being easy, my bills? No, it hasn't. You know why? Because I got away from who I am. See, a lot of your anxiety is created by the things that you know to be true. You got to stick with the truth. Because the minute you get away from the truth, the minute you get away from what works, those are the types of things that create anxiety. So I know, and I knew as a young man, you get this money by grinding, by hustling, by having multiple income streams. I had a job and I had other activities, we'll just say. My job, I would cash my check, put the money in my pocket, take it home, and then take it out of my pocket. Because I was making so much money doing other things that's what I did. See, Let's say you have a wife that just wants you to work a job, which is part of what, part of my story. All for business, just everything had to be perfect. Me knowing how business works, everything ain't gonna be perfect. You gotta just take your small steps. You gotta start somewhere. I told y'all about the businesses that I gave up on, listening to who. It's not her fault. I shouldn't have been being a simp. That's why I tell y'all how to do. And hopefully y'all listen to me. This ain't gonna hurt you, because you ain't gonna mistreat women. You just ain't gonna deal with the ones that's not good for you or not benefiting you. See, a woman is supposed to benefit you. A woman should not add misery, or you gotta take care of her like she a baby. See, I used to think that that's what a man was supposed to do, until I got confronted by God himself. The Most High showed me how it's supposed to be. They supposed to be helping you. And the anxiety with me when my bills came from, I have no one to call. Yeah, when I was in Texas, my in-laws and my parents, people was helping me and stuff. They knew I was down there trying to get ministry going and stuff like that. But they couldn't give me the help that would put me over the top. So my anxiety was still there. Because anxiety is that helpless feeling when you feel like, what can you do? You feel like it's nothing you can do. The Bible tells you to be anxious for nothing. What does this mean? This means that you never think that it's nothing you can do. I call my couch, I call it the contemplation couch. When I'm in a situation where my back is against the wall, I just go. And sometimes I can't sleep. Them bills have a way of keeping you woke. So, if you a man, right? Let's say you got a stay-at-home wife. Homeschooling kids, this, that, and the other. You coming up short. You do all you can. If you still come up short, that she's supposed to help you. See, it's too many women out there, and I'm telling you now, please listen to me. A woman that think you supposed to do everything, that's not gonna be a good woman. She not, I'm telling you. I'm telling you, man, you think that's gonna work out good? It's not. You should never spoil a woman. You should never let her become entitled. You should always have something for her to do. Didn't Al Bundy show us that? Remember how Al Bundy was always broke? Part of that was his fault. But what could have been done different? That wife that used to be at home watching TV, talking about, I'm telling you, Married with Children is one of the greatest shows of all time. It shows you what some guys be dealing with. Remember, what's his name? Archie Bunker? He had a stay-at-home wife. What Archie Bunker used to always complain about? Money. They showed you. So, you can have a stay-at-home wife, but always have something for her to do. And before she becomes a stay-at-home wife, stack that money up. Get that money right. Don't do that out the gate. Don't do that out the gate. I remember I got injured on the job. I come back to work, they bumped me to third shift, right? We living with my in-laws at the time. I'm gonna show you how much of a simp I was. I was making good money from that job, considering. Because back in 1998, if you was making even $10, $11, that was good money in 98. I get back to work, they call me in the office. They say, you've been bumped to third shift. I go home. The wife said, I don't want you working third shift. So I go back to work and tell them, well, is it anything else I can do? They said, no, you got to be on third shift. I said, well, I can't work third shift. Because I had another job for the public schools. It was part-time, but it was second shift. So I wasn't going to give up that cushy job, that good job, to work the job I had in the morning. I was trying to get them to let me stay on the morning. She said, I don't want you to work third shift. So I quit the job so I wouldn't work third shift. Boy, I went through them financial issues for a while until I got to the sewage district. And that came, what? Almost 2 years. Wait, what year? Yeah, almost a year later. So what I should have did, because I created a lot of financial anxiety just by not going to third shift. I should have been like, well, I got to go to third. Hey, went to third. That was the beginning of the issues. They got better for a little while. Off and on, things get better. But that was the beginning of my financial issues when I quit that job. Because I was making 400 something, sometimes $5 a week back in 98. And I was living with her parents. We was looking for a place. We had moved out of my apartment because my oldest son was born. It was too small, and we wanted to save money. But we didn't think that what happened to me when I got injured, that was part of it too. So we stayed there for a while, but it created anxiety. Now the Bible tells you to be anxious for nothing. Relationship anxiety came down the line. Every time we got in an argument, she had to tell me she was going to leave at least through the time I've known her 20 times. The way I was in my 20s, I'd have been like, and leave, F you. And I would have literally said the word. I used to cuss. I only cuss every now and then when I get mad now, or when I want to really express something. I rarely ever cuss. Y'all know that from watching my video. But that's how I would have been. And I was breaking up with good women. I told y'all, I done said this story many times. I had 2 good girls in college. They both broke up with me. I got them both back. And I had to make a choice because they was getting into it. They knew about each other. So, and then like through the years, like before me getting with her, like I had some women that was down for me that was good. I just wasn't trying to hear that stuff, man. And I wasn't trying to hear that little one stuff. Yeah, I had them thinking that. But I cheated on all of them, including her when I first met her. Not during the marriage, but when I first met her. You know, so you got to stick with the word telling you to be anxious for nothing. So what you need to do is you need to write down or think about all the stuff that's causing you anxiety. And then on the other side, how can I handle this? Okay, let's say you facing eviction. It happens, man. The prices of stuff is out of control. We don't save. we don't sometimes make the money, and sometimes when we do make it, we don't do right with it. So you face an eviction, all you could do really is try not to get evicted. And if you get evicted, if you know you finna be evicted and you're not gonna be able to come up with the money to stop it, guess what? Your money that you making, you better tuck that on somewhere. Tuck that. Forget what he talking about. He finna put you out. You don't worry about it. You just do what needs to be done. What needs to be done. If you can't come up with the money to stop the eviction, you put up the money you make and prepare to move. Life gotta keep going. What sense do it make for you to do anything harmful to yourself over these people, these bills, and this stuff in this life? It don't make sense. You just adjust. Man, I am finna be homeless. Why are you so scared of being homeless? Do what you gotta do not to be, but don't fear it. You never know. They liable to pass a couple laws and practically everybody that ain't rich will end up homeless. Everybody's rent is going up to $7,000 and you don't even make $3,500. What would you do? Hell no, we won't go. All you could do really. Why would you? Why would you do that? Ain't no woman ever. I'll tell you, if I ever even had a single thought of doing something to myself over a woman, man, I'm gonna be slanging wing ding all over the city. Just to take my mind out of the foolish thought. Love is a myth. Therefore, a relationship should not create anxiety. The American dream is a myth. Therefore, if you go through financial problems, it's not supposed to create anxiety. You should be paying yourself first anyway. See, when y'all try to keep up with the Joneses, again, this the type of stuff that create anxiety when you're trying to impress other people. So, you got to do what's best for you at all times as a man. You look out for your kids, and I'm going to tell you something else. A lot of women, when you be close to your kids, some women will intentionally and sometimes unintentionally play on that. Like, you be like, well, I already know it's over with you. There's no way I'm going to try to stay with you. How disrespectful you are. But then you'll try to stay around and deal with your kids. Take it from me, man, it creates anxiety. You don't be wanting to leave your kid. Think of how the anguish that some guys go through just trying to deal with their kid, just trying to be under the same roof as their kid. When these women start changing up on you, when these women are quit on you. And if they still around you, but yet they don't show you the respect as a husband, they done quit on you. I don't care what they try to say. That's how you know they done quit on you. What are you gonna do? You gotta decide. Am I gonna practically cause myself health problems and anguish being under the roof with somebody that I'm not with? Is it worth it? You always gotta ask, if you on a bad job and it's creating anxiety, you're in a bad relationship, your bills, is it worth it? Are your bills worth the anxiety? If your answer is no, file bankruptcy. Man, listen, I done had so many repossessions. I don't care about no repossession. You think I'm gonna be, oh, I wonder what people gonna say. Man, I kid you not, the majority of them, I gave them the car. I drove it to them. One time, I had a 2008 Chevy Cobalt. The bank was on 132nd in Hampton. Chase Bank. I got 1 month behind on the bill. They was calling me like I was 6 months behind. I got tired and I said, hey man, you talking a little slick, man. I told him just like that. I said, man, I'll bring this car back to you. He tried to call my bluff. He said, you do it, bring it back. I said, all right, bet. Click. I drove the car up there. I talked to somebody in the bank, told him, took my license plate off, and I went about my business. Part of it's because I had another car. Hey, I don't believe in having one or nothing. I don't even believe in having one woman. I just don't believe in that. You can't make me believe in it. You better be you better be so good where I'll be like, okay, I'll give you a shot. But I know right now though, nah. It ain't happening. What about you fits the bill? You know what a woman has to be my only woman? The energy you gonna need to cook, clean. If you in your 40s, you already know you finna work. Oh yeah. It was an element that I left out of when I was telling you about a friend of mine, or strong associate friend, whatever you want to call him. His son had been married 3 weeks and he already contemplating divorce. She quit her job. Coach Greg is a genius. I'm gonna give him credit. Nobody's perfect, but like he be knowing this stuff, man. She quit her job. That's part of the problem. She not cooperating, lazy. See, for you to be a good wife, you can't be lazy. If you're lazy, you're not a good wife. I don't care. There's no way you can spin it. You entitled. For a woman to be lazy, she got to be entitled. Gotta be. That's what probably led to it, or it's causing it. Something. His wife quit her job. They ain't got no kids. Once, like, let's say I got concubines. My concubine's so good, I said, you know what? I'm gonna marry y'all. And then they quit their job. You know what? I'd be like, so you waited till we got married to quit? We ain't having no babies. If they like 43, if they ain't got no kids, they system probably would be different. They could have kids. But if they like 46, 47, 49, and they just knew how to treat me and I was dealing with them, stuff like that, and they quit, I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna quit you just like you quit your job. Bye. You know why? Because I know what it's like to have that pressure on you trying to pay these bills. Stay at home wife ain't for everybody. You got to be making the money. And 40,000, no matter how well you need to do. You can't budget 40,000 good enough. You to have a stay-at-home wife in 2023, I've done the math. At the minimum, you need to be making 60,000 after tax, not before, after. And do right. And you still gonna have a hard time, depending on where you live. If you stay in California, New York, it goes up 150. But these women, but what you need to be doing, you ain't handling your business. Man, you tell these chicks, look, we need more money. Get off that little womanist stuff. Figure out what you could do to help. Well, I got to take care of these kids. All right, work remote. I don't even tell y'all everything, man. Because it wouldn't even be fair. But I knew this one was going to be a long one. What time is it? 8:47. I got to make sure I start at 9:30. That's the beauty in self-employment. But let other people say it, I wouldn't be self-employed. It's hard. Anything, like when you self-employed, anybody that's self-employed will tell you, everything that takes away from your money making is going to make it extremely difficult for you. So you have to literally be on people's heels about your time. Let's look up the definition of anxiety. A feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease, typically about an imminent event or something with an uncertain outcome. A woman leaving you, losing the house, losing the car, losing the job. They come to work, tell you we might be closing. Remember, when you're dealing with anxiety, the first thing you say is, what should I do? And the what should I do is to stop the anxiety. Your company tell you they finna close. What should you do? Oh, that's easy. Find another job. Find other income stream. Again, you should be doing that anyway. Why would you settle in on one income? That you're just being lazy. You should have been, think about it. Let's talk scenarios. Y'all know I like just making stuff up and giving you scenarios. Let's say you had a guy, right? And his job told him that we contemplating closing our doors in a year. What would he do? What's the smart thing that he should do? It's a couple things. He can get a part-time job, save all the money from that for a year, save as much as he can out of his money. Then when it happened, let's say he had a part-time job where he was making, let's say $200 a week. And he said, I'm gonna save all of this in case they close. So he saved every dime for a year. He already got his place. He already had a little money. He saved every dime for a year. That's $9,600. They come, they say, we finna close. He got an extra $9,600. He already got his place. So he got his emergency fund. Let's say his rent was $1,200. He got $9,600. And he still has his part-time job. He could either ask them to go full-time, which would create more money to keep him from going through that 96, or he could just keep working his part-time and find another job or something else he could do to fill that space of time. He'll be good. Most people will be good to go. But if you don't do nothing, nothing is gonna happen. And I ain't get that from nobody. If you hear that, you know that's me. That's no matrix. If you do nothing, nothing is gonna happen. if you put it on a t-shirt, I swear I'm gonna get a lawyer. Because that's when I learned how to make these shirts, how to design them and stuff. I got stuff on Spring that I called Spring and told them don't put it up. Because what I was doing was I was trying to do it on my phone. You got to use a laptop. And so, hey, I'm glad ain't nobody bought it, man. I'm hoping that the word money is all the way across the front. But on the picture, it's not. So, hey, man. But anyway, I'm gonna try to wrap this up in like 5 or 10 minutes. So let's go back to the definition and break down the definition. You shouldn't be anxious. Like he say, like my hairstylist say, I ain't worried about nothing. That's how you got to think. Because anxiety is a feeling. It's a feeling. It ain't even real. It's a feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease, typically about an imminent event or something with an uncertain outcome. When you get behind on them bills and you be thinking they gonna do this, they gonna take this. You shouldn't even be worried about that. But you worrying about it is called anxiety. Your attitude should be, I'm going to do the best I can and forget it. Whatever happened, I'll adjust. This is why you got to do the basics economically. You got to save your money. You got to manage your money. Make, manage, save. Remember what I said? Or make, save, manage. That will make it easier for you to deal with changing events. In a relationship, you take the role that you're supposed to have and you stand on that role, you stay on that square, and whatever happens, just happen. Your attitude the whole time you with your woman should be, if she leave, I'll just get another. And it's fun finding another. Some people say dating ain't fun. That's because you shouldn't be dating. You shouldn't be dating. I'm going to show you something. This is how you'll find out who like you or not. You got to know how to talk to people. First, you got to be able to connect with them where they would even want to spend time in a conversation with you. But then you start picking, prodding, picking. So do you have a man? Are you married? Or do you have a boyfriend? Oh, you're not married, or you don't have a boyfriend? Oh, is it okay? Didn't it? Or you say something like, so that means it's all right for me to take you to the movies or something. So that means it's all right for me to call you. Nah. Okay, she said no. Next. You don't be feeling sad over the women that reject you. That's all they got. They gonna use it. They gonna reject us. They reject you, be done. Permanent. I just want to be friends. Permanent. Well, I got a boyfriend. Permanent. Stop trying to act like you tough. She want to deal with him. Let her deal with him. Then you ain't got to worry about stuff like she get pregnant. It's really yours. She telling him it's his. Or the other way around. Vice versa. You ain't got to worry about that stuff. I'm going to talk about this a little more. But then I got to go collect some money owed to me from a company that had a nerve not to give me my money. All they gonna do, they probably gonna try to call the police. You know how people do. That's their crutch. When they don't do right, just call the police. Because they know you. If I beat, man, what is up with my collars? If I beat the police, I'm not going to keep beating the police because eventually it's going to be too many of them and I'm going to lose. People be knowing that. Your girl know that. That's why it's very risky when you stop getting along with a woman to be around. Because that damsel in distress, trust me, when the disrespect is there, she pregnant with damsel in distress. She carrying that damsel in distress in there. That's why when they start disrespecting you, you should get away from around them. You try to stay for the kids, man, you putting yourself, I'm telling you, man, take it from me. You putting yourself at risk. When a woman has made it up in her mind that she doesn't want you, that she doesn't respect you, even if she's using you for something like money, like to keep her current situation, you risking being around her. Because the longer you stay around her, the more she's gonna figure out a crafty way of making it seem like you're the bad guy, making it seem like you're the one that fought. Boy, I told y'all, I don't be putting everything on here. The conversations, it could be something that's blatantly both of your fault. But them finger pointed at you. So you get rid of anxiety by not worrying about the work. And then you should be thinking, what should I do? The second thing, what's the worst case scenario? Know the worst case scenario and say, who cares? I'll figure something out. When you take that attitude, I'm telling you, it's going to get rid of your anxiety. People have power over you because you care what they're going to say. Your rent is too freaking high. If you keep trying to pay it, you're going to mess around and get evicted. You just trying to pay it because you worried about what them people who haters, jealous, evil, miserable gonna say if you end up in a smaller place, or gonna say if you lose your car and end up in a raggedy car. You went from riding clean to riding raggedy. You gotta be able to go from riding clean to riding raggedy, and in your mind, who cares what they say? Because in your mind, you should know, I'm going to get an even better car and work towards it. The next thing, like I say, you got to work towards. What is it you want? You work towards. I want a woman who respects me and helps. You got one that don't dump her, divorce her, and look for one who will. In the meantime, you got to think like me, buddy. I have fun by myself. I don't like stressing over stuff. When I start stressing over stuff, I'll be ready to get rid of it. That's just how I'd rather take a few steps back and get rid of a problem than keep trying to stick with that problem because I'm scared that I can't do better. That's just me. That's why I don't have anxiety. It comes and stuff. Like, for instance, I had a car, one of my cars. When they got to stealing it and stuff, it was never the same. But that payment was the same. High. I had to pay to get the car fixed. I had to pay the deductible, $500. They had it so long, I was having to pay for rentals. Then, after that, months later, it got to breaking down on me. Needs this, needs this, needs this, needs this. I I said, man, I'm getting sick of this car. I had a real bad accident in it too. I started looking at that car like that car was the problem. I stopped paying for it. I said, I'm not paying for this. All right, your credit gonna get messed up. All these people. I don't care. I don't care. I'm the type, you talk about me, I'm gonna talk about you back. I ain't gonna worry about what you saying. I'm gonna talk about you. That's just me. I gave him that car back. Man, that car, now check this out. I'm finna tell you. The payment on that car was $577 freaking dollars. That car needed an engine. Don't y'all know that when they steal Kias, right? When they steal Kias, it messes up the engine. The engine is already weak. Them Kias be looking so nice. It was a 2018 Kia Optima. Man, you think I'm finna pay for that? At this point, if I would have paid for that, I'm just worried about what other people could say. F them. Worry about yourself. And don't talk too much. Because if you get me mad enough, hey, we're going to have to, hey, listen. Ain't no way I would have just been paying for that, worried about what other people gonna say. Man, come get the car. They was like, well, you fell a little behind on your payment. I said, well, when you told me that I could trade this car in and that you would give me the funding for the next car, you would finance it. They like, that's what they told me. I don't know who was lying, whether it was them or the dealership. Many times I tried to trade that car and nobody would take it. See, it was fine as long as I had this income. But like I told you, when I start seeing something that's a problem, I'm not finna keep dealing with that. So my things in my income had changed. Took a couple steps back. And so I said, man, y'all come get the car. The car, I asked him, he said, well, the car needs an engine. I said, so how much would it be if I had to replace the whole engine? He told me $15,000. So what? Remember, anxiety. I'm in there. Car breaking down everywhere. I got this car, but watch this. I took this car in, right? The dude lied about everything on the car. Why he did that, I don't know. Maybe he just don't like black people. There's no explanation for it. We're going to have to continue this because I ain't done yet. So, it's a computer issue with this car. There's two issues with this car. Two major issues with this car. One of them is something with the computer. Everything needs to be reset. And the other one, I just need a smoke test. I might have how hose might have a little hole in it for a rock or a piece of glass or something. It's not running hot, or it could just be your gas cap. I could just need a new gas cap. Minor. This car was sitting there. This car rides 100 times better than that Kia did, and this is a 2008. If it need whatever it need, it's minor. So I'm on my contemplation couch. I'm rolling around because I'm like, man, how I'm gonna do these jobs, man? The majority of my stuff is driving. And so I called up the mechanic. First he fixed it. Then I had the same problem again. So now he comes clean. He says, well, we just gonna have to keep doing that same thing. I'm like, I'm not finna keep doing that. And at the same time, they calling me. I said, man, nah, y'all can take it. See, they know that car ain't worth nothing. So they want me. They said, well, you could come get the car. No, don't want it. See, once I start not wanting something or somebody, that's just how it's gonna be. I don't want it. We'll come back and finish this up real quick, but this anxiety is an important topic, so I couldn't just talk about this for a brief second, so stay tuned.